Hello and welcome Internet Math students to the summer 2020 session. My name is Robert D. Giovanni. I'm the instructor for the course. Wanted to go through and kind of give you a rundown of how the course is going to work. So let's go ahead and get started. This is the main website for Northwest Vista College, so I'm going to assume you know how to get into ACES and how to log in. And then once you get here, you're going to go to your courses, and then you'll go to summer 2020 and you will select. Now I'm teaching two online math courses this summer. I'm teaching Calculus 1 and Calculus 2, so this video is for both courses. There's slight differences in the courses, but enough of it is the same that I can do one video for it. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the Cal 1 class, and then I'm going to switch this. Well, let's do communication first. Very important that everything that we do in terms of communication is officially done through this interface. This is called Canvas, and so you'll see on the left-hand side here you'll have an inbox, and if you click on that, it's your standard email inbox. You can compose a message to me. You select the course. You select, this always lags a little bit. It drives me crazy. Might be my browser. But you'll select your course that you want to send an email to, which would be me. See, it's lagging. Don't get it. Come on, you can do it. There we go. And then you'll come over here and you'll select teachers if this ever comes up. The important thing here is that you're not sending me emails through your Yahoo or Gmail account. Everything needs to be done officially through here. And that way we can track everything. So this is really not wanting to cooperate today. There we go. So you'd select teachers, and then you'll see me here, and then you can send me whatever you need to send me. And that's it. And then if I send you something, it's going to appear over here on the left-hand side. It'll have a blue dot next to it. If it hasn't been read. So that's how you know if you have unread messages. So that is our communication. Make sure you're doing everything officially that way. So let me get back to the main page of the Cal 1 class, and I'm going to go to student views, so this looks more like what you're going to see, with the exception of like the pink border here. This is what you should see. And what we have here is our main page, our home page, and this first thing talks about a deadline, and I'll explain that once we get to it. But then the important stuff is the orientation video. There will be a link to that. That's this video, in case you need to go back and watch it. And then you'll have your schedule, and then formula sheets, course videos, class lecture videos, homework solution videos, and then another little video on partial credit. So I will get to this, but let's get to the syllabus first. So again, for Cal 1 and 2, this is very similar. So the first thing I need to make you aware of is that the entire course is online. Obviously, with the COVID-19, we can't do anything face-to-face anyway. But I'm still requiring twice throughout the summer that we are going to meet online at a certain day, at a certain time, and you're going to have to go in using the Zoom software. So you'll have to install Zoom either on your phone or on your PC and get that installed, and then I'll send you links. So if you're not familiar with Zoom, it's just a meeting interface. It's a place that we can stream our videos to each other online. And so there are two Zoom sessions that you must join. They are scheduled for Thursday, July 9th at 9 a.m. and Thursday, July 30th at 9 a.m. And you're actually, at those two meetings, you're going to sit down on camera in front of me, and you are going to take both exam 2 on the 9th, and then on the 30th you're going to take exam 4. So that's kind of like the midterm and final. And during those meetings you will have to be streaming your video to me. So it's very important that you get these things set up and make sure you have the right equipment. If you don't have the ability to stream video, then you need to contact me, and there are resources available through the college to help you with that. But I'll let you contact me. So like I say here, During these meetings, you'll be using the Zoom software. I will provide you the meeting ID, so you'll need a number or a link to join the meeting. So I'll give that to you, closer to the exam. And then, of course, you must have a webcam or video to stream to me. If you do not attend either one of those sessions, you'll earn a 0 on that exam. And basically, if you earn a 0 on either one of those exams, you'll fail the class. So these are pretty much set in stone. I'm not going to move these. You need to adjust your life around these. If you have something that you just absolutely cannot get out of, you're going to need to send me an email and explain what it is. And then I can possibly make some accommodations for you, but you're going to have pretty good reason, I guess. Okay, so those are the two meetings. Like I said, I introduced myself earlier. I have a cell phone number here that you can use if you need to get in touch with me, and I have some instructions on how to do that. So later on in the syllabus, I'm going to explain how the whole course works and when you should communicate with me through my cell phone and when you shouldn't. In terms of office hours, what I'm going to do, this is kind of important for this online session, or the online classes, Cal 1 and 2. I put here Monday through Thursday by Zoom, and the way I'm going to do this is once a week, and this still needs to be determined. I'm going to send out a poll to the class. I'm going to determine what is the best day and time for me to come on and offer a Zoom session where I can offer tutoring and just answer questions. So everything else you do is pretty much, you're going to be on your own. But once a week, I'm going to offer your class a time that we can go and sit down and meet for, I don't know, an hour, maybe 2. It just depends on how many people show up. But if need be, we can always try and meet if I'm available on Zoom to answer any questions. Now, in terms of what you need for the course, you don't need to go buy anything like a book or anything like that, or order anything. What you're going to do is you're going to be going into a website called WebAssign. And in WebAssign, I have a link here to it, and I'll actually just take you to it right now. So in WebAssign, if you already have an account set up, great. If you're new to it, you're going to, if you've never used it, or you know what, in both cases, you're going to enter a class key. So you want to enroll in the class. You're going to enroll with a class key, and it's going to ask you for this class key. So I'm going to go back to the syllabus. And here's the class key for Cal 1. Now Cal 2, you have a different class key, so do not use that one. Open your syllabus in Canvas and you'll see your class key. So once you put that in here, then follow the process and get enrolled. Now this is where you have to pay for something in this course. It's the actual access to that website, and that's where you're going to do your homework and do your online exams. So it's important that you get enrolled as soon as possible, and that is why in the course syllabus I say here at the very top, or actually on our home page, you must be enrolled. I say it here too. You must be enrolled by 3 p.m. Wednesday, the 10th of June. So I give you 2 days to figure this out. Now, when you enroll and pay, there's a couple of options. You can get temporary access, like if you're waiting for some funding, waiting to get paid or something like that. You can get temporary access to the course so you can do all your work. And then I think it's like 10 days, 14 days. But by that time you have to pay. And you can do that by a credit card, or there's a couple of different options. But if you don't pay, it's going to lock your account, and it's a big mess. So you want to do it before that due date that they give you. And they'll remind you every time you come in to WebAssign. It'll remind you, hey, you haven't paid. So on top of this, paying for that, you also need, of course, for the class, you need a computer or a phone that has a camera so we can have those Zoom sessions. You'll have to also download the Zoom app to your phone, or on your PC, download the Zoom software. Now, we do have a textbook. Excuse me, I guess I haven't talked this loud in a while. We do have a textbook that the course is based on this textbook, but you do not have to buy it. All right, so, but if you're one of those people who really wants to have a physical textbook, this is the book that all the material is coming out of. So you're free to go get that if you want, but again, it's optional. You also need a calculator, and in terms of calculators, I do have some restrictions. So you can have a graphing calculator. The thing you cannot have is a calculator that has a computer algebra system. So calculators that can do factoring and derivatives and integrals and things like that, like you can't have those. So the TI-89, that's what I have here, is not allowed. But you could have the TI-86, you could have TI-85, 84, 83, anything that doesn't have a computer algebra system. There's also the I think I have the Inspire. Here's the Inspire, but there's two versions of the Inspire. There's the TI Inspire CX, and then there's another one that's the CAS or something like that. You cannot have the CAS. All right, so when you take exams 2 and 4 during that Zoom session, I'll be asking you to show me with your camera what you have in front of you. And one of the things I'm going to ask you for is to look at your calculator. So make sure you're using an accepted calculator for the course. Now, I'm not going to go through the description and objectives and outcomes of the course because they're going to be different for Cal 1 and Cal 2, but you can read those. Those are pretty much given to us by the state of Texas, so that's what we have to cover, and that's what we intend on doing. Now, in terms of your grade, standard grading scale, I can only do give you an A, a B, C, D, or F. Now, there is a special grade that, because of this COVID-19, that has to do with military. But that, if you're military and you have a question about that, you can email me and we can talk about that. Now, in terms of what your grade is going to be determined by, it's basically homework and exams. So we have homework assignments that you're going to do in WebAssign. Those all together are 10% of your grade. The computer will grade those as you do them. You'll get feedback immediately as you do them. And then, oh, this is messed up. Exam 1 and Exam 3 you do at home, okay? Those are only 10% of your grade. Exams 2 and 4, that should say on Zoom, not on campus. Those are traditionally done on face-to-face on campus, but because of COVID-19, we're going to do them on Zoom. But notice the percentage, the weights on those exams, they're huge. And that's because, well, I can verify that you're the one doing the exam. So there's some credibility to the grade. So that's the breakdown of the grade. Now, this part right here, I try and explain how the course is designed. And I'm going to run through all of this, like clicking and showing you things in a minute, but this is just kind of a general layout. So to succeed in this course, I expect you will do the following. So the first thing is you're going to look at your schedule, and the schedule is going to have kind of laid out what sections we're covering, and I'll show you that in a minute, what sections we're covering and when those sections are due. And so you'll look at the schedule and say, okay, I have this coming up, now what? Well, then you go watch a lecture video. So I've created videos in YouTube for my internet students that are basically me delivering the material. So I'll be talking about the topics, definitions, theorems, anything like that, and then doing a bunch of examples. Now, these videos that I'm expecting you to watch, since this is a summer course, these videos are going to be about 6.5 hours a week of just you watching and learning. So I realize that it's difficult to sit and watch that much video, but there's really no other way for me to deliver all of the content without having you sit there and watch it. So I expect that you'll watch that. Don't try and take shortcuts and just go try and do homework without doing any sort of learning, and then just go and there's so many resources out there where you can just get answers to things, and you can go to Khan Academy and just get a quick little 15-minute thing about derivatives. But you really want to try and use, well, I want you to use my videos, because the way I present things is going to be different than the way other people present them. So notation, just the way problems are worked out. You might find yourself getting confused if you start watching my videos and other videos. Let's just stick with mine, see how it goes, and then after you watch those videos, what you'll do is you'll attempt the homework. So you looked at the schedule, said, okay, I need to cover this. I went and watched the video about it. Now I'm going to go do the homework. So when you do the homework, those assignments are not timed. and you get multiple tries to do each problem. So it's really just practice. I want you to practice when you're doing the homework. So you should get good grades on those. But the important thing is for you to understand what you're doing and how, when you look at the problem, recognizing what it is that you need to do from there. Now, if you struggle with the homework, I've also provided a whole bunch of videos that are solutions to homework problems. So it's me working out a bunch of the homework problems. And I have, hundreds of hours of video of me doing homework solutions. So you watch those if you need to. And if you still are having trouble, then you can join that weekly Zoom session that we're going to have. And again, we haven't determined when those are going to be, but you could just kind of get all your questions together for the week and be like, okay, I'm going to go to that Zoom session and let's see if I can get some of my questions answered. And then if you still are having trouble, you can text me, and that's, just send me a text. There's my cell phone number. And all I ask is that if you're going to ask me a question, that you include both a picture of the question and whatever work that you've done so far. It doesn't help me when you say, hey, I'm working on number 12 on section 6.2. If I'm sitting there and I'm somewhere else, I'm not next to a computer. It's just easier for me if you send me a picture of the problem. I can help you even if I'm out at a park walking around. So please follow that protocol. And then hopefully by that time you understand the material, and then you can move on and you can complete the next homework section. And eventually you'll get to an exam. So like I said, exams 1 and 3, you're going to do at home. You're going to do them on the computer, just like you did homework. But the only thing is they're timed. Okay, so you have to complete them in one session. So as soon as you open the exam, the clock starts. If you close the exam, the clock's going to keep running. So do not open an exam unless you're ready to start it. And then when you take that exam, you only get 2 tries at each problem. And then as soon as you're done, you submit it, and then it'll be graded for you. So those exams, you can, homework and exams, you can move at your own pace in the course. You can get ahead if you want. You just can't fall behind. Every homework and every exam has a due date, and they must be completed by those dates and times. Now, exams 2 and 4 are different. Obviously, those are the ones that carry the most weight in the course. That'll be when we meet in the Zoom session. Again, I'll send you out the link to join the session. And those exams, I haven't decided yet. Those might be on WebAssign, where you just go to WebAssign and do them just like you did homework in the other exams. Or I might just send you a document through email and just be like, there are the problems, work them out. So the nature of those exams I will determine, and they're also timed exams. And I'm going to be asking you to include all of your handwritten work. So let me tell you a little bit more about exams 2 and 4. When I provide you to this Zoom session, you're going to log in, you're going to stream your video, I'll send you the exam, you'll be required at that point to show me your workspace, and then once I verify that your workspace is good, you can start the exam. And then, this is so important, the most important thing for exams 2 and 4 are that I must see your handwritten work at some point. So when you complete exams 2 and 4, the first thing you're going to do is within 15 minutes, you are going to either scan all of your handwritten work through a scanner, or if you don't have a scanner, you're going to have to take pictures, very nice, clear, clean pictures of your work. And then after you've done that, you must convert your scan or your pictures into a single PDF file. I will not accept eight files, and I won't accept a zip file that has everything in a folder. I want one file with a single PDF that has all of the pages of work that you did for exams 2 and 4. Now, there are many apps that you can get on your phone for PDF converters on both iOS and Android. So I'm going to ask that you go look into that now and maybe practice with it, just the first couple of weeks here. Take some pictures, see if you can get it into a single PDF. And then once you have that, ability, when we get to exams 2 and 4, you'll be ready. And then what you'll do is, once you have it into a single PDF, you will upload that work into a Dropbox. So I will send you out a Dropbox link before the exam. And so when you're done, you'll be able to send that work, your handwritten work, to that Dropbox, and then I will have it, an electronic copy of it. All of that has to be done within 15 minutes of you finishing the exam. So you finish the exam in front of me on Zoom, you say, hey, I'm done. And then I say, okay, clock starts. You have 15 minutes to get that work to me. So then I will grade that work and I will determine your grade based on what I see. So you'll get partial credit. If you have answers but you don't have any work, then I may not give you credit. Like if you have correct answers but then there's no work to support it, then I may take points off. So it can help you and hurt you. It just depends on what you have written. So when you're doing your homework and you're doing those other exams where I'm not sitting there watching you, you need to be practicing writing and math. Okay, so normally my classes, I require them to keep a binder, and then they have to turn that in at the end, and that's to help students be organized and practice writing down their work. I'm not requiring that. The only handwritten work I want from you is exams 2 and 4, but you have to have kind of already gotten into the habit of that. So very important. Handwritten work is going to be the big deal in this class for exams 2 and 4. Okay, now because exams 2 and 4 are so important, right? Together, I believe they're 70% of your grade, 70% of your grade. If you fail, like if you get a 60 on both of them, I mean, you basically can't pass the class. So really, it's important for you to be ready for those exams. So what I tell you here, and I'm not going to go through this line by line, but what I'm saying here is when you're doing your homework, you need to be thinking about what it is when you're doing a problem, what it is you're having to look at to help you with that homework problem. And you want to get to a point where you can go back and look at a homework problem from the past, pick one out and be like, okay, I know what to do there. I don't need to go open a book or go to a website or watch one of his videos. Like, I know what to do. So it's practice and repetition. That way when you get to exams 2 and 4 and I present you with these problems, you're not like, okay, where's, I need my notes, or I need to go watch a video. You can't be at that point. You have to be past that. And if you can get to that point, right, where you're comfortable problem recognition and execution of the technique, then you'll do okay in exams 2 and 4. The problem I have with a lot of this internet students is they get so dependent on needing to look at something. When they get to exams 2 and 4, they do terrible because they become so dependent on resources that are not available to you during these exams. So just work on that. Practice the testing environment at home before we get to these exams. Okay, so there's some stuff here about extensions. You might miss a due date for homework. That's fine. If you're not going to make a due date for the homework assignment, wait for it to expire. Once it expires, there will be an option for you to request an extension. You can request an extension, but there will be a penalty. I think it's a 10% penalty, and then you will get a couple of days. It'll give you a couple of days to finish the assignment. So if you're going to miss a homework assignment, don't worry about emailing me or texting me. Just wait for it to expire and then go request the extension. You cannot do that on any of the exams. So if you miss exams 1 or 3, which you do online, you have to contact me and tell me why you missed the exam, and I may or may not give you an extension. Exams 2 and 4, the Zoom sessions, absolutely no extensions at all. So if you miss those, it's a 0 and you're basically going to fail the course. Okay, attendance policy is an online course, so you just need to be participating and not just disappearing. I can track, how long you were on, each of these websites. I can tell how long you were there, how many minutes you put into it. So I just say that if you miss more than 3 deadlines, then I can drop you from the course. So even if, like, you request an extension on a homework you missed, I'll count that as 1. And if you get to 3, then at that point I can drop you if I feel like you're not putting in the time. Okay, the next real important thing, and I think this is the last important thing here, is the tutoring. There is tutoring available to you provided by the college. And those are online Zoom sessions where there's a real tutor sitting there and they can work with you one-on-one, and they can be drawing on a little board and sharing their screen with you. And there are 2 labs here, and these are their hours of operation. I think you're probably going to be using the Open Math Lab. That's the one you want to use. This one is for anyone who needs help with like algebra topics. And since this is calculus, I don't think they're going to help you in there on calculus, unless the problem you're having in calculus is something related to algebra or pre-algebra. So that's more of a lower level lab. And so I think you're going to get the best help in this open math lab right here. So you just click on that during these hours of operation, and there should be a tutor there to help you, which is pretty cool. Okay, I think that's it. Let me go back to the home page, and let me go now and look at the schedule. Okay, so for both Cal 1 and Cal 2, if you click on that, you should be able to download the schedule, and the schedule is very basic. It's just a little spreadsheet, and it just shows you here. It just shows you here, you know, the topic, what needs to be covered, and then what type of assignment it is and when it's due. So you can see here that there are 2 assignments that you must do. There's one of them is getting started with WebAssign, just to get you familiar with the software that you use to do your homework. And then the other one is a syllabus confirmation. That's just a quiz. It's just a question like, do you understand the requirements of the course? Yes or no. I need you to complete those by the 11th of June and by almost midnight, right? 11:59. And then your next due date is the 14th, and you can see that for Cal 1, there's 3 things due on the 14th. You do not want to start those assignments on the 14th, okay? You want to be working ahead, and you want to make sure it's done by those days. Students get into big trouble when they think, okay, you know, I'm doing an online course, I'm just going to do all my work the day it's due. It's just not going to work, especially for calculus, especially for Cal 2, it's just not going to work. So these due dates, always be working, trying to give yourself a little bit of a cushion on those due dates. So I would get started on those right away. And then you can see we have the 21st of June. There's another set of assignments. Now look at this. This is interesting here. On the 21st, there's three sections of homework due and the exam. So all 4 of those are due on that date. And you know what? While I'm here, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up the Cal 2. Come on. Yeah, let me open up the Cal 2 schedule just so we can see it. It's going to look very similar. So again, they have the getting started, the syllabus confirmation, and then you have Cal 2 has 3 things due on the 14th, and then again on the 21st, 2 sections in an exam. So it's up to you to kind of look at this and, you know, fill out a calendar, put reminders in your phone, whatever it is. Yeah, so that's it. Those are the schedules. You just follow them. Now, I will point out on exam 2, it says here live on Zoom. It says here 11:59. Okay, we're actually meeting at 9 a.m. Ignore this 11:59. That's kind of like the due time, but I'm going to take that out and fix it. But those things, we're meeting at 9 a.m. All right, and we will have several hours, probably about 3 hours to 4 hours to finish that exam. And that's it. You just follow through here. So let's see how this will work. Okay, so we have the schedule. I'm looking at Cal 2 right now. Their first assignment is the 3.5 homework on inverse trig functions. So if I were a Cal 2 student, here's what I would do. 3.5 is the section I need to do. So how do I do that? Well, you know what? I need to leave the student view. I need to bring up my Cal 2. Student view. All right, so again, 3.5 homework inverse trig functions is what I want to do, or I want to learn about inverse trig functions. All right, so here we have what are called the class lecture videos. So you'll click on that, it will take you to YouTube, and there will be a playlist here, if it ever loads. And you'll see here 24, 14. Don't worry about the Tuesday, Thursday. This was actually taken from a face-to-face class where I taught the class. But you can see here it says 3.5 inverse trig functions. So I'm going to click on that. So I'm a Cal 2 student. It's the first thing I need to do is go learn about inverse trig functions.
5 times 4 times 3 times 2.
Well, okay, so this is actually me, and this is a few years ago. I recorded these videos. So you can see it's an hour 43 minutes long. So this is like a standard class. And in the beginning of the video, I'm talking to the class about welcome to the class. Here are the things. Just ignore all that, okay? You can fast forward and just get to where I start doing some math. So here's kind of where you can see I start doing math. All right. And
Part of all of calculus is the limit. From the limit.
So there's me, and I'm going through this, and I'm going to talk about inverse trig functions in here. And I also have, when I'm up here on the board, I have interactive notes. You'll see this here. Okay, so I'm working, and I have these notes and examples. Those notes and examples are available to you. I'll show those to you in a second. But again, the main idea here is that you're going to watch this, and hopefully you're going to learn something and you're going to understand it. So I've now watched that, and I think I'll close that. So let me go back to here. So I watched the class lecture videos. I also have in here older videos, so videos from other classes. I've got a bunch of old ones from like 4, 5, 6 years ago also. You're welcome to watch those, you don't have to. So that's why it says optional and then old videos here. So you've learned hopefully at this point. And now it's time to go do the homework. So what you'll do, you'll go to that WebAssign, you know, and you've already enrolled in here and paid. So I'm just going to go in now. And this is going to be real weird because it's not going to look like it looks like for you because I'm an instructor. So let me switch over to, it has a student view. So this is what it'll look like for you when you come in here. It should look something like this. And by the way, there's a link here for communication. Do not use this. Everything is done through Canvas, right? Okay. So it shows here my assignments, and it says no current assignments because the class hasn't started yet. But those will start to populate once the class starts. So I have to close this view. You can, but this is kind of what you're going to see. You have a link to the textbook if you want to go open the textbook. You have like kind of a PDF version of the textbook. But there's where your assignments will appear. So I have to close this view, and then I'll bring up the actual assignment on my end here. Come on. So here it is. So I'm going to view, so you would click on this and it would open this assignment up, and this is what you would see. So here's the assignment. Looks like there's 13 questions, and it's asking for the exact value of each expression. So it wants you to put an answer in here. There's a little palette over here, and this is going to be a learning curve here. Okay, the computer's picky. Don't worry about that so much. You'll pick it up as you go. Just pay attention to the question. If the question is asking for you to give an answer and it doesn't tell you to round, that means it wants the exact answer. So if the exact answer is pi, you put pi. And there's a symbol in here that you can get pi. Okay, symbols, pi. Okay, so there's a way to answer. If they ask you to give the answer and they ask you to round to the nearest hundredth, then you would put 3.141. So you're going to round to the nearest hundredth, so 3.14. Okay, so just pay attention to what the question is asking. So you would work through this, and hopefully you do okay. Remember, you get a couple of tries at each problem. So let's say now at this point you're having trouble, right? Well, then you have the homework solution videos. Now the homework solution videos, you're just going to want to kind of look at the section. So here's 3.5 inverse trig functions. You're just going to want to kind of jump through the video and see if you can
be working out,
find the problem.
And this is where you,
similar to what you're working on. So here looks like trying to find arc sine of root 3 over 2, and I accidentally closed that out. View, let me do this again. So let me go back up to the beginning here. Yeah, so here's problem arc sine of 1/2. So that's pretty similar to that problem, and you can watch me working through that video. Let me close this out. So where are the solution videos? So these solution videos, I'm working on a tablet, but later on it's just me on a board working through problems. Okay. So you've learned, you've gone through the homework. And now you move on and you look at your schedule and you look at the next section and you repeat. Okay, so now you go to 3.6, you go watch the video, you go try the homework, you go get solutions if you need them, and then eventually you get to that exam. That first exam, you go to take the exam, make sure when you open it, the clock starts, you can't leave it, make sure you have enough time, you go do your best, and then submit the exam and you have a grade. And that's pretty much the way the course is laid out. Remember, you can always reach out to me for help. What else do we have here? Solution. We have files. Okay, so on both Cal 1 and 2, you should have a link to files. And in files, what you'll find here is, like I said, those course notes. So if you want to be following along with the notes that I'm using, I have the notes here. You can print those out. Those are PDFs. Also have formula sheets. So it says these are the things that you can bring to exams 2 and 4. So you can print out any of this, all these files. You can print them out and you can have them in front of you when we do that Zoom session. And that goes for Cal 1 and 2. Whatever's here, you are allowed to have, all right? But it's your responsibility to have those printed and in front of you when we take exams 2 and 4. Okay, let me go back to the home page. So we have files. There's a way in WebAssign when you're doing your homework to request partial credit. Actually, don't worry about this too much. I don't think this is, I think I'm going to remove that actually. Okay, so we went through the syllabus files. There's a discussion board here, and the discussion board is a place that you can go and ask questions to your fellow classmates or talk about things. Well, most times students don't use this too much, but we'll see, it's there if you want it. And there's also online tutoring, which is separate than what Northwest Vista offers. And then there's the survey that you do at the end of the semester. So this is pretty much it. I'm trying to think if there's anything I've left out. Yeah, I think this will do it. This will get us started, okay? So I'm going to be sending out an email now that's going to go out to the whole class. It's going to have a link to this video. And then it's also going to have a link to a Zoom session that I'm going to hold tomorrow, which is Monday, June 8th. And I'm going to hold that session in the afternoon, probably around 4 o'clock or so. I don't know. I'll send it out in an email. And what that is going to be an opportunity for you to come. If you want to meet me, we can join in together. I can meet you. You can ask some additional questions about the course. And I'll record that and I'll make a link to it so that you can watch it if you can't meet when other students are available. So, in summary, it's an online course. You're going to watch a bunch of videos. You're going to try homework. You're going to watch more videos if you still need help with homework. You're going to meet me for the Zoom sessions weekly if you want for me to answer questions, or you're going to text me for help. And that's pretty much it. We're going to try and work together and get through this. You know, Cal 1, you know, it's calculus, it's online, it's going to be challenging. And it's 8 weeks, so we're really cramming a lot of information into a small period of time. Cal 2 is a tremendous amount of material, and you know, 8 weeks. So hopefully you have the time you can balance in your life. You know, taking an online calculus course is not kind of like the easier way to take it. It's actually pretty challenging because, you know, we're not sitting there face to face where you can ask questions. So let's see how it goes. If you ever feel like you're kind of like the wheels are coming off and you're not sure what's going on, don't wait till it's too late. Get in touch with me beforehand. Let's see what we can do to make adjustments to make things better for you. Okay, I look forward to meeting you all hopefully in the Zoom session down the road. You all have a great day. Thank you.